Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. And we're winding it down with us tonight. We're going to discuss socio-political aspects of the Second Amendment. We're going to talk about voting in upcoming elections, and last but not least, carry solutions in non-permissive locations. We'll do all that when we come back.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
back.
first things
Live,
first.
unscripted.
Need to thank our sponsor.
That's right.
And I don't have the page pulled up. Oh
You
no.
will.
I'm slipping.
Mm-hmm.
Before I do that, we're live on YouTube, the Two Alphas Talk, Twitch, Saberteam19, and Facebook, Saberteam Tactical LLC. It's a call-in show and also interactive show. You can chat on each of the platforms. Call-in show. The phone number is 404-692-0561. If you call in, make sure you got a good question or something that related to the topic, and we'll go from there.
That's right. Be
And
ready.
be ready. Don't be slipping. And here, I probably need to pull this down too. Boom. And so let's go to saberteamtactical.com, then go to top right, click on classes, and we have a few classes that are still left.
Mm-hmm. Winding
Um,
down the season.
winding down. We always well. Go ahead, Al. What
Yeah,
am I
we'll
doing?
always have the one-on-one firearms training, and that's all year long. And you just sign up for that, and we'll take care of the rest to show up, and we'll get you to get you up to speed for the most part. Right, and then the rest of them you're pretty much self-explanatory in the titles. We got the semi-automatic rifle class coming up September 3rd, and that's going to be a good one. And that will get you ready for the classes that we have upcoming. The last two, the coup d'etats, and they are, scroll down a little, thank you, that we have the medical and rifle class and the rifle and tactical gear class. Those are classes where we will put all your gear together, teach you how to stop the bleed, and work as a team. Combination in both classes.
Right. And you guys saw me disappear for a minute and go to the online store. We got Saber Team Tactical swag, plate carriers, medical supply gears, and all the other good stuff there. Also, too, the swag that, let's see if it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Right here. There it is. They got to be at a certain level.
Did
But I
I
make,
hold it?
yeah, laser engraved plaques, and they're custom. So if you guys need something like that, hit me up. All right, I'll hit Al up, and he know how to get in touch with me,
Yep.
and we'll go from there. All right, on with the show.
That's right. So basically, what we discuss tonight is where do you stand? And I'm not just necessarily talking about whether you're on the red team or the blue team, but overall, like if you are owner of a firearm or owner of a few firearms, where do you stand when it comes to other people who are owners of firearms as well? So we can go and say black, white. We can say people from other states, people from other countries, people from other ethnic origins, whatever you want. The diversity of the Second Amendment, right? And then when we start talking about that, we have to look at how do we galvanize that? How do we all come together for the common purpose of maintaining the right to bear arms? And that's what we want to discuss tonight.
Right, and it basically we can't divide ourselves by political lines. We can't divide ourselves by color. We can't divide ourselves by social economical status. Basically, how much money he makes compared to what I make, because we are all in this together as one, and it's only one common cause that we have is to support and defend the Second Amendment.
Right.
And if you guys can't look past that little bit proportion of in yourself and say, okay, we all have a common ground here, and then we truly have a huge problem.
Yeah, because we can't wait for politicians or whatever party they're a part of to say, okay, yeah, well, we can take these away, but we're going to keep these. We're going to allow these people to have guns, but not these people. If you look at it, it's going to break down to payment. You're going to pay for your right. And those that you can look at it and see, those that have it, I was just testing that. Those that have the money to pay for it will still be able to be gun owners, and those that don't, you won't be allowed to have a gun.
No, everybody will be affected on this, and that's the biggest thing. Everybody will be affected. Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, black, white, Republican, Democrat.
Think about it, and let's be fair. You know, you look at the here in Georgia and the political ramifications and things that politicians in office currently holding office, the incumbents have done, taking away fees for your right. We already had the right to bear arms, but they took away a fee so you don't have to have a weapons carry license, but you can still carry a firearm concealed. That's a political move. And unfortunately, it shouldn't have been. It should just been the right for the people. But it's a political move right at the time when the election's starting to roll up and everybody's doing things to galvanize people and say, oh, well, you know, he did do this or he did that. And, you know, this person is anti-guns and this person actually made gun rights more accessible. But what's the end goal? Because at the same time, if you're a thinking person, he took away a revenue source for the government. Regardless of how many people used it, it still was a revenue source. So where are they going to get that money back from?
Well, they're going to get them back from the grants that's going to come down after HR 1808 passed. That's what they're going to get their revenue from.
Right. So now we start looking at bipartisanship.
Right.
Because what you just said, that would put us back into to red and blue working together.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're going to get that money back. That money's coming back. Each of the municipalities, I know Cobb County, it was over $1 million plus in weapons permits. And here in the state of Georgia, we don't have concealed carry permits. We have weapon permits. So that means weapon carry license. And so that means if I want to carry a broadsword or a battle axe or brass knuckles or switchblade, I can carry that.
Everything that you have, by the way, you know that, right? I've seen all of those on.
I know I did. I know I did. And I didn't mean to. It just popped out.
Right.
So, but you can carry that stuff and they can't say anything to you about it because you got that license. Right. Now, a lot of people are foregoing their license and going with the concealed carry, constitutional carry law.
Carry law, right.
Which is all and good, but you can't leave the state with your firearm.
Nope.
So,
and you still have to submit to a background check.
Yeah, you still have to submit to a background check. A lot
of people don't realize that you still have to submit to a background check. So you're still taking upon, you know, you can say you're squeaky clean, but you're not the one making the judgment. The feds are.
Right.
So when your background is delayed or you get a denied even, then you're wondering why. And it may have been something that you did that you thought was cleaned up or it has been taken care of and it's still lingering out there and they see it and they deny you and you have no idea. But if you get a weapons carry license, the sheriff's department will tell you. So that way you can go, you know, maybe
clean it up. Right. You can contact the ATF and get it clean.
Exactly.
Right. Except if you're in Fulton County or DeKalb County. You got to go through the yeah, you're screwed.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can still you have an idea what's going on as opposed to going in and they say, well, you know, constitutional carry allows me to buy a firearm whenever I want. You're right. If you pass the background check.
Right. Got to be clean. Mm-hmm. So, so what it allowed everybody to do was to come on the same level. And the constitutional carry, because it was with a weapons license, you had to have a little, we have to admit, we had to have a little extra spending money because you had to spend for the weapons license, take the time to go out and fill out for the background check and all the other good stuff. Then you go out and buy a nice firearm, and the average person is going to spend $600-700 on a nice pistol. And so it separated us by class. social economical class, and
Mm-hmm.
but what the constitutional carry did, it brought everybody together. Now everybody's willy nilly running around with firearms who wouldn't have done it before because they didn't have a weapons license. And so now with the constitutional carry in our state, it brought people more close together. And what I'm hearing and seeing, a lot of people are stopping a lot of crime with being constitutional carry
Right.
on both sides. And it's really it's really amazing to see that, because I'm seeing people of color just like us who are exercising those rights and actually defending other people's rights,
Mm-hmm.
and protecting them with the constitutional carry.
Right. And the other thing too is when you broke it down just now, and you were talking about the economics of it. It's on average $80. And
Hmm.
then, like you said, taking time out to go down to the courthouse to fill out the paperwork and make sure that you get your fingerprints. You have to see the sheriff, representative of the sheriff's department, all those things. So certain counties they do it where you have a one-stop shop, and in other counties who don't want you to have it, they make you go all over tarnation in order to get it. So
Yeah,
you'll be here, you'll be there, and then everywhere, and
because they don't want you
so
to have it.
right,
Yeah.
and they don't, and that's the problem, and that's what we have to pay attention to, because it's no different than the right to vote. Okay,
Hmm.
and forcing someone again to say that they have to get downtown or they have to get to a certain location in order to vote. No different. So they made it easier to buy a gun and to exercise the Second Amendment, but yet we still are holding it to people to identify themselves, which is think about it. Anybody
Right.
can vote if they show up, so it's a necessity. But everyone doesn't have to carry a gun, you see. But it's a
Right.
right, so we got a two-edged sword there.
But and see, in the past, in the state of Georgia, I know what they've been doing. Mostly everybody who owned a gun or carried a firearm to defend themselves or own multiple firearms, they usually call them white supremacists. And so, what the constitutional carry in the Georgia has done would made more people um, become Second Amendment. What is it? Not supporters, but Second
Advocate.
Amendment advocate of the Second Amendment. Now they don't realize how. I think they must realize, because we have seen a lot of people going out and buying firearms just to buy a firearm, so they know something's coming. They just can't
Mm-hmm.
put their finger on the pulse and figure out what it is they need
Well,
to
they won't say
do.
it, right?
They won't say it because they
Mm-hmm.
get ostracized by their friends if they do say, "Hey, I need to support our Constitution of the United States." You know,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and it's the same way you have that lady over in Russia. She's in jail,
Right.
but she was in the United States screaming about how she hated the United States, and now she's over there in jail over there, and now I hear she's
Pledge
tap
allegiance
dancing.
to the flag
But
of the United
yes,
States of America.
right, right. You you don't realize how good you have it until you lose it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's we're trying to warn a lot of people on it. If you don't get on the program and wake up, you're supposed to be awake anyway, but apparently you guys are sleep eating hot dogs, and so
Mm-hmm.
you got to wake up because this
Yep.
thing is coming. It's coming
Mm-hmm.
fast. You
Then
know.
people have to make that decision because early voting is opening real soon, sometime in October. You have to
Hmm.
make a decision as to what you how you stand. I mean, it's a tough situation, even if you don't like these folks that are out there in front of us. Do you like firearms? Do you like protecting your family? Because if that goes down, and just imagine, as Sean, I sent Sean the link. So Sean, if you see this, I'm taking your words, bro. So I'm giving you credit for it real quick. They take all the guns. What are we gonna have left to defend our families? 8 personalities. Swords. We're going back to sword fighting. We're gonna go back
Yeah.
to either a katana sword or a long blade or a broadsword or anything, cutlass. All those things. This is what we're gonna go back. We're gonna revert back to
Oh,
that. Like
oh,
all the
oh.
things you just mentioned.
Yeah, but check this out.
Hatchets and axes.
What was the country that has that law that banned all the guns?
Hmm.
Some professional MMA guy, his brother got killed by a knife. Now he's talking about they don't have enough knife control.
See, right? Yeah.
so it's like, so it's like it never stops.
Hmm.
So
Because
it's go ahead.
it's funny at the same thing as you were saying. It reminded me because I hear people now refer to Georgia as the Wild Wild West, right? So if we
Hmm.
go past the Wild Wild West, we're going backwards, and if we wind up with primitive weapons, now we're in feudal times,
Right.
and now we're working on defending. How do you defend yourself? Going to put a catapult in your backyard
Well,
just
you're
in
not
case
going to
they get
defend yourself.
overrun? No, you're
Yeah.
not, and the police are not going to be there. Sorry,
Yeah.
bro.
And you know this is what I've been noticing about the police. In a lot of the counties here, even our state, mostly
Hmm.
state of Georgia, people have been shooting people, doing aggravated assault to stop a crime. They're actually placing their gun on them without shooting the person, and the person frees. Or somebody, I've seen people on the news where they had their cars broken into, and the guy comes out with an AR and just lay down the hate, and they don't even get arrested. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
they don't even get arrested at all.
Right.
So that's strange.
Well, if you're
So that,
defending yourself and you're doing it right, you shouldn't have that problem.
mhm.
What we have, we run. What the problem we run into is people who live in non-free states, right? Those are the ones that you're going to wind up where you go to indictment and you got to go to a grand jury just to prove yourself, even though everyone else saw that.
Yeah, you can defend yourself and just be polite to your
Mm,
attacker and hope he will be nice to you.
yeah, keep hope alive, brother. Keep
Yeah,
hope alive.
they'll be nice. I mean, you can give them a slice of apple pie, and
Invite
all
them
that
in.
good. Right, have them rub their feet, do all the other good stuff. But yeah, you can't. I mean, if they bring hate, you got to bring hate at a times 100 to them
Hmm.
back.
Right.
Uh, but you got to be willing to do that.
That's the key. See that, and that's another one that we have. Our topics change as we get past some of these political hurdles, and that's one of the things we talk about a lot is the mindset of the
Yeah,
individual, and that goes back a little bit to the social political aspects because now you have to start thinking about who you're being friends with and who you're sharing information with.
yeah,
Al, you've mentioned that a number of times in the past about sharing information and watching who you're with, especially in your certain Facebook groups or I don't know
yep.
wherever else you meet in forums and things like that. You start mouthing off, and people are watching you.
And they're gonna turn you in,
Mm-hmm.
and you see it time and time again. They will turn you in and think nothing of it, and be cowards about it. Won't admit it that they turn you in, but they would. I mean, a lot of you guys, when you was on Facebook, you probably noticed that, and you get turned. They say they call you a racist name. You turn them in, and Facebook says nothing about it. But as soon as you do it, boom, you get banned for 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
So then it comes down to the voting in an election. I heard some bad news a couple weeks ago, at least a week ago, that the Senate, we may not end up flipping the Senate over to um, Republicans. And it's iffy right now. And it's not looking too good with all the senators that are up for reelection. Is like 34. And so they say a lot of the seats won't flip. If they do, they're going to be closely contested, and we just have to really keep an eye on that. And in the state that we're in, we have to vote this clown that we got worn out in order to help that experience go. Because if that Senate turns to Democratic control, HR 1808 will go to the floor. And when it goes to the floor, it will pass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, you definitely have to maintain OPSEC. Yep, you sure do.
Mm-hmm.
All social media platforms,
Platforms. There you go.
because if this bill passed, That's the first place they're going. It's your social media place, and they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
look and see what you have. And most of you guys are out there posting your guns out there, and your serial numbers flashing. They can stop, freeze frame, pull that up, see your serial number, and they know where you live at now.
Right.
And the
Mm-hmm.
social media platforms are going to give up their information anyway to where you live if you put it in there. I never put the exact information in there. I always put something else, but
But even if you put something else, they
they can
know
still
who
find you.
you are. Right.
They can still find you. And you guys got to be very, very careful, especially in the next couple of months, because um, we have to work on like the bill is going to pass,
Mm-hmm.
and so we don't have any surprises.
Preparation.
Yeah, we got to be prepared. So you need to uh, maneuver yourselves on any of the social media platforms like that. You need to find out who's really your friends, who's your closest friends, who you can call at a drop of a hat, and they'll be there to help throw down hate. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, or a place where you can go as a sanctuary for maybe you need to leave your establishment and go someplace else. Can they take you in?
Right.
You know? So,
Well, I've talked to a couple of people in the last couple of hours, actually, and let me say it this way: not everybody's going to be compliant. How about that? They'll
no,
resist. You see,
no,
right? And I
no.
don't know how they're gathering all this, even when they're making outlaws, because you gotta go collect them.
Hmm.
You know.
Well, yeah, they got to come collect them, and that clause is in the bill that they will
Mm-hmm.
come collect them.
Yep.
So they're making a huge mistake on that.
Well, they
Um,
believe that they're invincible. Remember, the guy said, "What are you gonna do? Fight the government?"
mhm.
So, just like the Vietnamese did.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, and it's yeah. Either good times or bad times are gonna come this November. So
Right.
just be prepared and don't be surprised about what's going on. I need you guys to really be in tune to the political aspects of all this and contact your local senators
Mm-hmm.
and write them. I'm getting ready to send one a letter off this week to mine, an email, and ask them about something. Sanctuary cities. Now, you guys know. Let me share something real quick since we're gonna go into that. Um, Probably can't find it now, huh?
You just had it.
I know. I just had it. Did I close the stream? Yeah. Oh my god. I think I did. Well, it's let me there's you guys see that all right?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So we have at least 15 sanctuary states and they're still on the rise. So let me go back to this and let me name off all the states. We got Montana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, West Virginia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Missouri, North Dakota, and Texas. So those are the states we might have to move to.
Mm-hmm.
so, so think about that. Then these states, they've been passing these bills. Then these bills that have been passing will stop the federal ban and any executive order that's going to enact. Uh, uh, their laws went into effect in January 2021. So that means the if the federal government tries to the registration,
Mm-hmm.
making national registration, ownership, possession, transfer of firearms, magazines, ammunition, feeding devices, that's going to all stop if you go to those sanctuary states or if you can get your state to become a sanctuary state. So that's something that we got to pound on your senators and governors in your own states. If it's not a blue state, if it's a blue state, you might as well forget it. But
Right.
if it's a red state, yeah, if it's a red state, you're gonna have to really start harping on these guys right now. And it also stops the enforcement. That means they can't come to those states and try to confiscate your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So those are something. that everybody needs to look into. So if it gets real bad, you might have to say, okay, I need to run to one of these states. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So think about that.
Yep.
And
But
I
you,
mean,
even if you run, this is after everything's said and done, and this is like what
right.
you're just talking about, preparedness type deal. But we're also looking at if the settlement. How do we settle after something like that happens? Especially something that we saw coming, and we either froze in the headlights or it just was so big it just crumbled and knocked us all over. Right? Okay. Now what do you do? Do you comply and stand in line and follow the head in front of you and drop your firearms off in the pile that they're going to make, or alternative opportunity? See, I figured it out. I didn't say it, like I said, it was easy.
Right.
What are you gonna do? And that's the question that we ask. You guys listening, you guys paying attention from wherever you are.
It
Think of
just
that.
we want you to think about it. We don't want you to
Mm,
say it.
right,
We don't want you to talk about it. We want you to think about it and say, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do then? Okay,
right,
because I'm
and that's
hope
the problem.
right.
That really that is what it all boils down to is if something should happen, what do you plan to do and what are you willing to do? As Omar mentioned, the willingness to it is totally different than us talking about it even right now. I'm gonna be
But
an outlaw, and you'll be the first one in line.
yeah, you can't do that. And but also too, if this we get over this hurdle, this is not the last of it. They're going to continue to try again.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, we haven't had any mass shootings. If you notice that, anybody
Mm-hmm.
notice that? Or I'm just going crazy here.
No.
But no mass shootings, because a bill passed the House. Now all of a sudden, now they're just sitting there waiting in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, when the Senate come back in session, we'll have some mass shootings and they go to the floor.
Right.
You know, or they're gonna demand for it to go to the floor.
Right.
Figuring that,
It's funny
yeah,
how that works out.
hmm
Whenever
yeah,
they need emotional upheaval, we wind up with some incidents that happen.
right. And it's usually like three of them back to back. 'Cause one week,
Mm-hmm.
boom, the next week, boom, another week, boom, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is happening every day now."
Right.
You know,
And then the people who are in the middle start moving towards the other side, saying all of them need to be taken away. I don't have any. I have no stake in the game, so take them all.
right? Or they do have a stake in the game and they have some, but they just want yours taken away.
Mm-hmm.
Because they
Yep.
figuring, well, I'm gonna keep mine.
Mm-hmm.
I got enough money and influence, so I'm gonna keep mine.
Right.
You know, I got
Yeah,
them off
but
the books.
there'll be something like that too.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be something in the future where it's going to have similar to what they do in England, where you can afford to be a part of a gun club and you leave your guns there and you have somebody take care of them or whatever they do. They lock them in lockers.
yeah, they
You
lock
have your
them
own
up.
locker
Yeah,
and you can bring them out and play with them right here, but they stay on that property
yeah, but why do that? I might
at
as
the
well make
tune
a
of 20
slingshot.
at the tune of 20 grand. No, it becomes an oddity. It becomes almost like a hobby. It's like dudes collecting stamps. They talk about guns in the same way over there, and it's like, oh
No,
yeah, I have the such and such, and it's World War II type of
not for me,
firearm,
bro.
and see, that's my
Not
point.
for me.
That's my
Mm-mm.
point. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I've been around guns all of my life, and there's no
Mm-hmm.
way after the stuff I done shot and seen. There's no way there's no way I'm gonna go naked like that.
Nope,
You know.
no
So
way. And how do you defend your family? Let's forget
yeah,
about Billy Badass. This is how do you defend your family with a sharp stick.
right.
Then we start swashbuckling and carrying swords and beyond you, knave. Come on, it's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and go out and take our commercial break. If you guys got any questions, go ahead and shoot them to us. We just having an open mic right now, and
Yep, coming
just
up the
talking
second
about some
half.
things. We're getting ready to come up to the second half, and
Mm-hmm.
um, we're gonna talk about some other stuff that's going on. Finish the show out.
I often get the question, why train with Saber Team? And one of the things at Saber Team, we teach you from the basics on up. We do beginner classes where we get the fundamentals in play, We get sight alignment, sight mark, all your marksmanship principles in. We move forward from there, and we do advanced and intermediate training where we actually start teaching how to fight with a gun. That's the difference between shooting a gun and fighting with a gun. When you're fighting with a gun, you're trying to make hits. When you're shooting a gun, you're looking for bullseyes. We teach you how to move, get off the X, not move in a parallel motion, not be a robot. When you get your grip, you're riding that down. Oh. So what I'm going to do for you is what I do when I have guns like that.
Okay.
Put your thumb right there.
Gotcha.
And it's going to take some work and effort for you to get it there. When you dry fire at home, get that thumb on the outside. Go. Get it. Good. So if you decide that you want to carry a gun, you just bought a new gun and you're ready to go, you need to come out and train. Whether it's with a Sabre team or somebody else that's vested and vetted and has the knowledge and information that you need. And how do you find that? You reach out to them, you speak to them, you ask them serious questions about what they've done to get to a level of proficiency that will be able to transmit or transfer to you. At Sabre Team, we've taken classes from everybody with big names, all the big names, you name it, and we've probably been to one of those training courses to learn how to fight with a gun. And then we then turn around and teach our students the same thing. So we implore everyone to come out and shoot with Sabre Team because we are learning every day. We are the lifestyle of firearms and the Second Amendment, as well as self-defense. That's the key. You just can't shoot everybody. And we teach you who to shoot and how to shoot them.
Can't shoot everybody, Al.
But we can show you which ones too.
I remember when you told me that. You can't shoot everybody.
Can't shoot everybody.
I don't know about that, brother.
That's true. That's true.
Oh,
let's say
man.
legally. Let's say legally.
Right. All right, you want to get into the next one?
Yeah, upcoming election. We kind of covered a little.
Oh
bit
yeah. I was talking about carry solutions and on.
So the comment is
Salute.
invisible hands.
Salute you too,
my
man.
man.
Yeah, there he is.
The comment was carrying while working in a non-permissible area or going into a place like I was trying to make an argument that if you travel through a school zone and you're armed, you're violating the law.
So,
well, yeah, but I had to look that up and see, and there's nothing definitive. But you're traveling through. You can't go into a school. You can't go on school property. But
if you're on the street, that's county road or city road. Yeah. So.
And then you get the semantics. So
yeah,
you may come up against somebody, an officer or whatever that wants to press it and say, "Oh yeah, you're part of the school zone or whatever," because the cameras outside.
Yeah, but how they gonna know?
Flashing lights say school zone.
How they gonna know?
That's what I was getting at. That was my point. Is how are they gonna know?
Right.
So if you're running around, like Wild Wild West for real, and you got a 2-gun Western holster on, that's something totally different. But you can still carry like a normal, logical person would be. How did he know? Same thing.
Right.
No. I'm gonna say it like this. I've heard that some people have actually been in post office and government buildings that don't have magnetometers, and they've been armed. But it's been concealed, so nobody knew.
Right.
I heard.
Right. Yeah. You can go in any place that doesn't have a magnetometer or a police searching you. You can walk in those places. Don't worry about it. If you're not printing or carry exposed, open, If you don't have a rifle strapped to your back, don't do that. I mean, this is
Right.
silly. Um, let's carry concealed. I mean, because the protection is for you and those around you.
Right.
So um, don't try to cause a scene or try to make a point. I mean, it's
But
really
isn't it a status symbol too? Because I have a
well
Gucci Glock and I want everybody to see it. So how everybody gonna see it if I got it underneath my clothes?
for new gun owners. Yes, it is a status symbol because they don't realize the power. That the power goes to their head. It makes them feel like Superman,
Mm-hmm.
and they just like it's like say something, so they can pull it out or whatever and flash it,
You put
you
too
know.
much mayonnaise on my sandwich.
Right, exactly, and yeah, person has been shot for that. With the two people who shot and
True.
killed in the subway for putting too much mayonnaise on a guy's sandwich, and
Right.
it's like, so it makes people feel powerful, but it takes a really mentally right minded person to carry a firearm every day, um, everywhere, and not get into any altercations. And if you do get into one, you got to be willing to walk away
Yep. To save a
because
life,
to
walk
save a
away.
life, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
if you are trained, you know that if you break that glass and um, defend yourself, the outcome is going to turn out not good.
And one of the things I always express to new people and students as well is there's no coming back. Once
No,
that bullet leaves the muzzle, you can't direct it.
it's not the bullet. It's once you unholster.
Yeah,
Once you
because
unholster, is no
in
coming
some
back.
states that's menacing.
Yes,
Well, you get menacing and you get all these other things, but I'm talking about actually life taking. Something
right.
where there's no
That's the
spawning, there's no tagging somebody. This is over.
that's the easy part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the hard part is making the decision to do it.
Right.
Um, taking a life is that's very easy. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. The key there is right there. I need to say it. The escalation is the key when it's possible. Yes, and escape because sometimes you can't de-escalate a lot of these people because they're gonna think you're weak,
Right.
and so they get more bolder. So now you
Mm-hmm.
have to say, okay, do I have an escape route? Can I just walk away to the right and get out of this area? And you got to be thinking to yourself, I can't turn my back on this person, but if I go ahead and back out, um, will they follow me now? So all that's
Right.
got to be going ahead. Then you got to think about, do I have my family with me? Now, if your family with you, I mean, I'm not escaping. I
Right.
mean, this
But what are we escaping? Let's give an example of that. What are you trying to escape?
I'm trying to
Because
escape.
if it's just word game, you can walk away from that.
Yeah, I can
I can
walk
call
away
you
from
everything
word
you
game.
want.
Yeah,
Call you every name in the
yeah,
book. I've already heard
exactly.
them, buddy. I
Yeah,
probably wrote most of that book, so it's not a problem.
don't
But
don't
but there,
display
if
a
there's
weapon.
violence or force, right?
Right.
If
Don't
there's
display a
violence or
weapon.
force, now you got a problem.
And then it goes down to multiple people. What if
Mm-hmm.
it's more than one? Are
Right.
you going to sit there and have wordsmithing with two or three people who are agitated and coming after you? I'm not.
Mm-mm.
I'll try to escape first, but if I can't, it's going to turn
Right.
different. You know,
You gotta start dealing aces, buddy.
right? And but you got to make that decision what you want to do. You
Mm-hmm.
know, how you value your life, how you value your
Right.
loved one's life. Um,
And that's
so,
what I told the gentleman that asked me in reference to the carry solution situation. You got to determine how much does this job, if it's at your workplace, how much does that
go ahead and give
value
a
you?
scenario.
Yeah, you got a guy who um, not allowed to carry a firearm on the premises of where he works, but he wants to because he thinks it's a rough area. So if he secretes it and hides it, and you get along and go maybe months with nobody knowing. But if you decide to tell that one person, and that person then tell somebody else, and that person is anti you or guns, there goes your
Your
potentially you
job.
can be fired.
Right.
That's a violation of the rules.
Right. They're gonna fire you anyway if you defend yourself or fight back. Let's see. Walking into a store wearing a Glock 19 with the 33 round stick magazine sticking out of the grip. Yes, it's stupid. Seeing this being done in every gun store, I'm seeing it done online now, and
Bro, I've
it's
seen
like
it
a
in
badge of
person,
honor.
standing in line in a store. Not only they had the 33 in, what's up, Reggie? Not only they
Yeah,
had the 33 stick mag, but they had it in their pocket.
yeah. And what's
A
up with
special
everybody in
agent.
this?
Tell me if you see that. Tell me about if you ever seen that one, because he would actually, work certain places and he sees it. He's all over the place. Tell me if you've seen that one where a
Right.
guy actually has it in there. Oh
Oh,
wow.
there it is. Young rapper starter kit. Glock with the 33 round stick. Oh my God. What you mean, clip?
No, wait.
Oh, wait.
I
I
mean
mean,
clip.
clip. Oh, yeah, yeah. Not magazine.
They
Clip.
always use
Yeah, it's
clip.
clip. Yeah, clip.
Clip and pocket holsters with a
Yeah,
full size G17. You
right.
gotta be kidding me.
Right.
You
And
gotta be
nobody's
kidding me.
carrying holster. I just watched a thing on IG today. This wasn't a black guy, it was a white guy standing in a
Oh,
fast food
stop it.
restaurant, put his hand
Hmm.
in his pocket. He had his gun in there without a holster. The gun goes off, and luckily it didn't hit him in the leg.
I saw that. Yeah,
And he
and he
is
trying to play
standing
it
there
off.
trying to play
Hmm.
it off like it was the dude who just left.
That left, right. Hmm.
And they got him on
He was
camera.
lucky.
He was
Yeah, he
very
was
lucky.
lucky. Very lucky.
Yep.
But that's the other one, man. The terminology. They go back up.
Oh,
Terminology.
oh, oh, yeah. Clip
There you go.
with a
Clip with a
beam.
beam.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah, that's
Beam
a
is a
laser
laser.
beam.
Yeah,
And they asked
beam.
for
Gotta have a
IRs.
beam. They asked
IR.
for
They want an
IR
IR.
lights.
Yeah, because they think that means red. A red
Oh my
beam. So they say
God.
IR. And it's an IR meaning you don't want to see it.
You have a friend that you serious, Reggie? You got a friend to wear his gun like that just to
Just
prove
to
a
prove a
point?
point. Oh,
I took
he
it from
took it
him.
from him.
Good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
That goes back to one of the first episodes we did with this, with a lady in Philadelphia with the pistol in her tactical leotards.
Mm-hmm.
And she got snatched by a thug, a real
Right.
thug
Yeah.
who preyed on her. He watched her, saw her movements while she was in her purse with both hands.
Mm-hmm.
He attacked her.
Right.
And there's no other way around it.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
that guy tried to play it off. You're
Got to play
absolutely
it
right.
off.
And gun smoking and burnt powder all over the place. The people behind the counter know exactly what happened, but he's talking about what? Oh yeah, I think it was that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man, you big hole
Right.
in your pants pocket, and you're right in front of your pocket.
And
But
yeah.
that's again no holster and fiddling with a firearm in your pocket. You can't
Right.
see it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. They're always
But
touching the
again,
trigger.
everybody is not. Everybody is not ready, but they believe they are.
Right.
That's
And
the sad part.
that's the sad part. And the thing of it, and the sad part, these people who are not ready and believe they are ready, those are the people that will do harm to you.
Mm-hmm.
And because of an argument, they would do
Yep.
harm to you over
Emotional.
a disagreement, and
Mm-hmm.
they would do, emotional. I mean, they be
Yep.
having a bad day. You guys see these guys all the time on the freeway, road ragers,
Mm-hmm.
and they do it with their cars. So just imagine now they just bought this firearm. Now they feeling a little bit powerful now, and you say something to them. Next thing you know, they're gonna pull it up and try to point it at you. May not
Mm-hmm.
trying to pull the trigger on you, but they'll run up on the person who's don't care. And that person was going to lay some hate down on them. Then now it turns into a whole different ball game.
Now
Now,
he was going to school. He was about to go back to school. He was about no, I don't want to hear all that.
loaded with copper
Yep.
bullets.
Chopper.
Oh, chopper bullets.
Yeah,
I got my
bro.
microphone in the way. I can see with one eye.
Agent is all over it tonight because
Loaded with chopper. I never heard of that. Chopper
yeah,
bullets.
dude. They call the AKs choppers, and then most of the firearms are choppers. It started with the AK-47, one of those impact type pistols. You gotta listen to the young people, man.
Yeah, I don't
You
listen to
gotta
them
get in tune.
fools. They're freaking idiots. I don't want to hear a word they got to say. You know what I'm saying?
The guy came in one day and he asked me if he had if we had G locks.
What's that?
I hadn't. He meant that he was trying to say Glock. He pronounced it G-locks.
Oh,
I got G-locks.
oh,
And
because
I
of the
just
capital G, he said G lock. Oh my
G-locks.
God.
And then when I
Wow.
questioned him, he was cool. When I questioned him, he told me that's what all the uh, rappers are using.
Okay. He said all
All
long
long
guns
guns
are
are choppers.
choppers. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mm,
we old, bro. We old.
interesting.
Yeah, I guess
Wow.
nobody uses gat anymore. What about a
Yeah.
rod or the heater
Yeah,
or
heater.
iron?
Right.
He's packing iron, or
I
even
just
they used to say packing.
I just
He's
say
packing.
rifle or pistol. Or if it's
Yeah, me
both,
too.
I just say firearm.
Hmm. Yeah, see, we're
Yeah.
simple. We're
Right.
simple and old.
Right.
You got to stick with the modern terms, man. You're not hip. You're not in the hip terminology.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Let's
See,
see.
all
All
small guns. There you go. You got it.
okay. All small guns are Glocks. Doesn't matter if it if it's a Smith and Wesson. Yeah, you serious? That is ridiculous, man.
It's
That's an
sad, bro.
ignorance on a whole different level.
Glizzy.
Yeah.
What the hell is glizzy, Reggie? Glizzy. Am I
Glizzy.
saying it right? Glizzy. Glizzy.
Glizzy is a
Yeah,
something that's on Twitch, isn't it? Glizzy? I don't know.
I do. We're gonna be like that old lady on that commercial, and they say that's not how it's done.
Right.
We might as just let it go.
Right.
Gotta learn the
Okay,
new
gotta learn the
terms.
new
Exactly.
terms.
See. That's why I try to keep up
What
a
they
little
about
bit.
to act.
Just what
Ah,
Darrell says, because you never
let's
know. They could talk right in front of you and say, "Hey man, go get the chopper," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I like motorcycles." And next thing
right.
you know, this fool coming back with a
Oh,
damn gat.
Glizzy is a Glock. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right. Code names. Another name for a Glock.
Dude, you might as well learn
Hmm.
another language at this point. You
Yeah.
put this much effort into
Yeah.
it.
What they did, they tried it when I was in grade school. It's called Ebonics. Yeah. So that was the other language. uh,
Yeah.
Lizzie
Is
is
it a
a
Glock or a
or a
hot
hot
dog?
dog. My
Wow.
God.
So you got food and
Right.
firearm. Mm.
Yeah. You hear them talk. Yeah. But
I
I
want to
won't.
thank y'all for that little lesson in
Yeah. Yeah.
modern culture.
Because I'm gonna keep an ear out now for these terms while I'm walking around if I'm in
Oh
public.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And so
Exactly.
and but I'm finding myself when I'm out in public, I'm noticing a lot more movement now. And when things happen rapidly or in certain sessions, I usually blade myself toward it. And it's very noticeable that I'm doing it.
Right.
And so it's
Oh yeah. I like to let them know I'm paying attention and I
yeah,
see them.
yeah.
No, I did no,
There are more. No,
no. We
uh,
overloaded right now, bro.
yeah, that was too much, man.
Hey
Yes,
man,
you
we like
in
those
the
two.
industry, so you know what's going on, how they talking.
Yeah, yeah. He does music too, so
He can
he's
teach y'all
yeah.
as we go. Okay, when we get on the range, maybe you
Okay.
can lay some of this logic on us, so we'll know what's going on.
That's so far from logic, bro. It's just vernacular.
Yeah,
It's just a way of speech,
let's
and
see. Oh, I
that
missed
part I
one. Hold on.
respect.
D.
D45, D40, the
What
two.
the hell?
I,
D45, D40. That was the two twos.
D
D5 sun bun.
Seaburns,
Seaburn.
Seaburns.
I guess those are nomenclature. Okay, here it is. I think I got it. D45 is a 45. D440 is a 40. The two twos is 22. The five sunbuns.
The five
Oh,
seven.
five sevens. Sevens.
Oh,
Oh,
I
okay.
heard that's become a popular
Yeah.
caliber and gun too now.
Yeah. There we go. We just figured some of it out.
Yeah.
That was a nice little test.
Yep. There was. An agent man put it out there. Dude,
Right.
the next one, right after that one,
So let me go. This. Okay.
Yep. There was a guy that I was dealing with today, and
What? Oh,
somebody
gonna answer
made
it?
one of those for him. Yeah, somebody made
Okay.
one for him.
I don't-
Directly to Reggie. Reggie had just left, and the
Okay.
last guy pulled up. He pulled one out of his bag. He threw it in the trash. Somebody made him one of those on a 3D printer, and he was like, he forgot he put it in his bag, and he just threw it right in the trash because it's like He want it, don't want nothing to do with it, and don't want to be around. And just like ID says, and the same thing with Agent Man, they're going to jail for that switch, and he
Yeah,
didn't want it, and he pulled it out, and I didn't know. I didn't play with toys like that, and he
it's a
pulled it out.
heavy it's a heavy fine if you get caught with a switch. It's almost
Mm-hmm.
like being caught with a automatic weapon. You're looking at $10,000 in a fine plus 5 to 10 years in prison. Um, you won't be able to own a pocket knife when you get out.
So is that the
Uh,
same switch that once you pull the trigger, it just empties the magazine?
yeah, I fired a switch Glock before. They're very impressive. I have no need for it because it's wasting rounds. It's
But I'm
hard to.
asking, there's no way to right there. You go. That's the last
Yeah,
part I
you have
want
to
to hear.
control it with the burst. You control it with the burst.
So if you
You
let your finger off, it'll stop
it'll
firing.
stop. It'll stop firing. But the
Well, what's
with
the one where you pull the trigger and it just the damn magazine just empties?
that's the trigger they're talking about. The 3 stage trigger, and yeah. So I guess you can do something to it to make it fully automatic. They're going to jail with switches. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see if I missed any questions here. I
Yeah.
think I did.
954, the first one.
Uh, 54.
They asked for the
Okay.
calibers in the gun store.
Okay. This one here.
Yep.
Yep. They asked for the calibers in the gun
That
store.
was the
Yeah,
calibers that
that's
we read. A
yeah. We
little
read.
late there, bro. I mean, we
Yeah.
could have used some help. I'm still struggling over here. We got a good laugh, but we could have used some help.
I can't imagine what they call 12 gauge. Oh
Oh
my
no,
god.
no,
Yeah.
that must be like the boom boom stick
Yeah.
or something. Well, no, that's
Yeah.
too old. We
The
old.
happy switch.
The
Yeah.
happy switch. So I guess D is the.
Yeah. D is the for the.
All right, let me get my composure. Right,
Yeah.
'cause I'm not playing with him no more. Cause that.
Yeah. It's not worth owning a switch. I can pull my trigger on my rifle just as fast.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, more
and the same with the
effectively.
pistol. Yeah,
More effectively. That's the
and I
key.
can lay down control fire with it
Mm-hmm.
and be very effective. And with the Glock, you have a switch on it, and you pull the trigger. The Glock, if you don't control your burst, the Glock has a tendency to rise. It will rise completely up. And I've seen experienced shooters try to shoot a Glock with a trigger switch on it, and that gun rose up on them. They shot the lights out where we were at.
Wow.
And so you have to, when you have a Glock trigger, I mean the switch, you have to, if the point of aim is here at the microphone, you
Right.
have to aim down here. So by the time when your first round comes up and they start rising it'll actually hit. Then you see it hit, get off the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're done. You know? And it's not the same as a fully automatic rifle. If you ever fire one, a fully automatic rifle,
Right.
um,
But
it's
that has a rise to it as well because what's happening is the gun is recycling or recoiling and going
no,
back and forth.
not
It's helping it
necessarily
rise.
true.
Mm-hmm.
I've shot a lot of machine guns, and
Right.
they don't rise if you do the burst, 6 round
No,
burst.
no.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying. I'm
Yeah,
talking about just laying on the trigger and let them all fly.
yeah.
Like
Well,
my first submachine gun was that I
that's a
fired was
sub
a
because it's
timing gun.
just
Right.
yeah, because it's small.
That's
But
right.
I'm talking about a saw or a
Yeah. No.
M60 or
Right.
a
Well,
240.
I was going along with the
Yeah,
aspect of the Glocks and these little
right,
switches.
right. And so the heavier the gun, the less rise it will have. It'll just push you back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They do that with regular guns.
The ceiling at Georgia Firing Line has tons of holes.
Oh yeah, yeah. You shoot a
So
fire line.
imagine if that's happening with guns with no switches. What's happening with the switch?
Right. I mean, they're
The
completely going
sky's
nuts.
wide open with lead.
Right. And we've seen what happened when you can't control a fully automatic weapon. Remember the little girl who killed the
Mm-hmm.
instructor that was on the
Yep.
wrong side of her with the Uzi? The gun flips up, comes back, domed him. Same thing that happened to a shooter. If they don't keep their hands locked out and that gun goes off, it will twist back and dome them. And
You saw that nut job who claimed to be a NRA instructor at the range, and then the guy he was firing like a 44, big 6-inch revolver,
Oh yeah.
and doesn't he just picks it up and pulls the trigger. I think he thought it was dry, and the gun damn near took the top of his head off.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
yeah.
then the young man that's standing there says, "Did you mean to do that?" He's saying, "Oh yeah, 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 yeah." And mind you, his lip and everything's bleeding right there, but he
Bleeding.
meant to
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's funny that the crazy. Oh, you guys seen the one online? I know I shared it in my stories. Where the girl had the pistol in her hand and she had a finger on the trigger and she was trying to jack around in the chamber. She finally did it. Her finger was still on the trigger. Then takes the gun and places it up by her forehead and gonna pose with it, but pulls the trigger and the gun goes off and it bruised up all her forehead. But she got so lucky that she didn't dome herself.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well, who
mean,
did
it
she
was
kill upstairs? Abuela.
cockroaches.
Yep. He did.
The
He said he
rats.
meant to do that.
Yeah, he said he meant to do that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And yeah, you saw that. Yeah, if
Right.
you watch my
And
stories, I share a lot of stuff like that because I have a
and
tendency
then
to like things
your
like that.
stories on IG, and
Right.
you see everybody. So yep, and then right, that's what right there in front of
Yeah,
her
she did.
child.
Was it her kid or was it her
It looked like a little sister, but it could have
or a
been hers. I
sister or
mean,
something? Yeah,
different folks do
yeah,
different things.
yeah. She was glazed. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't glaze her at all because she had no blood. Remember, the head would bleed. If she had a piercing on the head would bleed faster and harder than any other place in your body because of the pressure. So she just had a bruise. So if she was bleeding, she would have glazed herself. We would have saw it immediately.
Right. There would have been a big faucet coming out of the top of
Yeah,
that
it'd been
dome.
a faucet coming out. I've seen guys
But her hair
get
flicked
small
back.
cuts like this and they bleed like no tomorrow off their
Yep.
heads.
Her
So
hair flicked back. You could definitely see
yeah,
it was real close because
yeah, it was
her
very
hair just
close.
popped up on top of her
Yeah,
head.
yeah. She almost domed herself,
Mm-hmm.
and uh,
I bet you
now
she's voting. I bet you she's voting for confiscation at this point. Never gonna have that happen again.
right, right. She's that gun jumped in
Yep.
my hands, went
Take
off,
them
and
all away. Take
tried
them all
to
away.
dome me.
She's
I
got
mean,
a big blue t-shirt on today.
right. And seeing there you go. Those are the idiots out there with guns.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody needs one of these things. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Mm-hmm.
everybody's got one. And the first thing they want to do is show everybody on YouTube or Instagram, hey, I
Yep.
got it. Look what I got. Let me show
Right.
off and
Yeah.
point it at the camera. And it's loaded.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they have no regard for anybody else in the room, not even themselves. What's going on? There's just your finger on the trigger and it's doing this stupid stuff. Yeah, she
Yep.
probably took it back to the store, said it went off by itself. Of course she did.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yep.
Something's wrong with it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it almost killed her. You know.
All right. So what do you since you said that about the firearms and all? What do you think about dancing with guns?
Oh, I wish I
Just
had that pulled up to show it. These
just
dudes.
dancing.
Yeah. We saw some videos where cats were dancing with guns. Now they're probably all loaded because they had magazines in them. Every magazine was
Mhm.
closed, and so they sitting up there dancing with them, and I think they're pop locking and whatever.
All
whatever.
they went through the
Yeah.
ages. But I will
Right.
say this. I'm going to say this on behalf. I don't know any of them, but I did watch, and I didn't see any of the 4 cardinal rules broken.
They didn't flag each other.
There you go. The ID just put it up there. I didn't
Mark.
see any. Apparently, I don't know where it was off the background. I'm just saying, from
Right.
what you can see, there was none of the 4 cardinal rules were broken. I didn't see any fingers on the triggers. It was. I know. It's
Oh, he said
lighthearted.
that's his guy. That's his guy. Oh no. They were pop locking, dude. They were pop locking with guns. Well, I mean, that was sad. That
I
was
guess it's for
sad.
the culture.
Yeah,
You know,
pop locking with guns.
dancing.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought
Doing the
dancing with
robot,
wolves was bad.
doing the
enough.
robot and all that
Mhm.
stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Was it 4 of them? I think it was.
Yeah,
4.
it was 4 of them. Yeah,
4 guys.
I mean, come on
when
now,
you're bored
man.
and you have nothing else to do, man. Play
I mean,
something
these are
cheesy.
yeah. I mean, I understand what
Play a
they're trying to
board
do,
game.
but these are firearms.
Right.
You know, they're not to be played with, not to be looked at by other people as
They're
it's a harmless.
idolized.
It's a toy.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be respected,
Right.
and if you respect it, it respects you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a living entity. It's a machine. It's a tool, and it's there to
So you
fire a
don't
bullet.
name your guns? You don't name
No,
them?
no, I name it by the nomenclature that it is.
Oh,
That's how I
you
name
said
it.
nomenclature. Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So
it's
if it's
just
a
a
Glock,
G19. That's so boring.
yeah, that's how I name them. I don't call them Betsy or Misty. I don't. It's not a lot. It's not a living organism. So it's not. It's stupid. You
I
know.
agree. I agree. I just
Yeah.
check, just
I
checking,
mean,
man. Just checking.
I mean, I slept with my M16. I rubbed on it. I kept it in my sleeping bag when it was cold at night. I curled up on it around it, and she didn't have a name. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? At all.
So that was
So
like a 6 month one night stand.
it's 6 months, man. I used to carry the same weapon for a year. You know what I'm saying? Then I carried when I had a 203 on that baby on the front end of it, it was even bigger. So I had to carry all that, you know. So I
Yeah.
had to
See,
sleep with
ID when
that.
you name them, you can't get rid of them, bro. You know,
Right.
it's like that. They tell you don't name the chicken because then you'll never be able to eat it.
He's guessing he's weird. Yeah, you are
Mm-hmm.
weird, dude, if you're naming your guns, man.
You
Because I
naming
can't
it, buddy.
remember.
See,
Yeah.
Darrell said you had some lonely nights.
Yeah, I did. I had some very lonely nights, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to keep it secure. And it was not just that weapon in there. I had to keep my nods in there. I had to keep all sensitive items. And SOI I used to have to sleep with. There's a lot of things you had to sleep with. You just for security reasons. If
Dude, they don't show that on the movies.
no, they
They
don't.
don't show that part on the movies. Why don't they show
Right,
that? See, the real glitz and glitzy, we always say the real glizzy, you don't show that.
right.
They didn't
So
show,
okay,
you sleeping with a hard ass gun in your bed,
right.
or not your bed, on your what do you call it, the mat,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Your sleeping bag. So
yeah,
let's
that's it,
say if
on
it's
the floor.
20 below, and I've done this before. 20 below, you got your weapon. It's out. Now you got to take that weapon, put it inside your sleeping bag, and you got to get in there with it. So, and that's the way it goes, And now, not just the weapon goes in there, my nods goes in there, all my sensitive, secure items because I had secret clearance, all that stuff goes in there too. I sleep with that stuff too, so it can't get stolen. Because if it gets stolen, I can get brought up on charges.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not getting brought up on charges.
So you're
So I,
responsible for that stuff. So it has to get in bed with you.
oh yeah, I slept with it. I slept with that stuff, man. I used to wear a secure book around my neck. That
Mm-hmm.
kept. I had signed for that. I wore it around my neck. Uh, the kit we had a field device that we used to have, and now the stupid part about it is you cannot get in your car with a weapon. So your M16, you can't get in your car with it. Any sensitive items like your nods, or a secure secret item, you can't get in the car with it because it's a secrecy rule. And if you get pulled over, you go to jail. I had a friend of mine who got pulled over and he went to jail because he had to sit in his front seat and the MPs arrested and took him to jail.
Speaking about jail, there was a in Hawaii, and this is something to pay attention to. And it's off the topic a little bit, but it part of the permissive locations.
Yep, slumber party.
16 sensitive items. The newest generation of night vision fell off the back of a truck somewhere in Hawaii, and they're looking for it. And they actually the government is asking for clues and tips for anybody who knows what happened to those to call them.
I've seen so many weapons being stolen, so many sensitive items being disappeared and missing, that you think people are stupid not to steal an item or try to steal a military weapon or anything like that, but they do it anyway. And what happens? The FBI comes in, shut everything down. You stay out there in the field. and they just interrogated everybody with
Well, this was on
sleep.
a transport. It didn't even make it to it. And from what I understand, it wasn't even what do you call it, inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're probably right. Either on
Yeah.
Reddit or one of these back channels.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one here in Georgia?
Right.
Outdoor Trader.
Yeah.
Code
Oh,
words.
I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, hold on. I was watching a video today. Watch what you guys are buying on Gunbroker. Gunbroker got in trouble with the ATF a while back for selling illegal firearms. And I think Gunbroker is working with the ATF and giving up people's names who are buying stuff that they shouldn't have. And the ATF is going to people's houses. And it's all being traced back to Gunbroker and the individual sellers on Gunbroker. So be very careful about buying anything off a gunbroker. Like if a person buys multiple firearms, they turn them into the ATF. ATF comes down to your house, want to look at them or whatever.
Wow.
And yeah, so I know for a fact when I was dealing in that world, ATF was being investigated, but gunbroker was being investigated by the ATF, and because they were doing some people were selling guns on Gunbroker and not going through a dealer, and they were sending them direct to the person's house. And so it was several people who got caught doing that, and the ATF confiscated. Oh, I know at least 15 guns from one individual who was selling them. And so Gunbroker is probably being put under some pressure right now. And so anybody who's doing anything illegal on Gunbroker is going to guarantee you're going to get a visit by these guys. So you got to be very careful.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a nice visit neither.
Mm-mm. No.
Yeah, he was mentioning Outdoor Trader when I was trying to figure out.
Oh, okay. Outdoor Trader. Okay. Yeah, I can go on for hours on these stupid military stories, but that stuff will just bore you guys. But there's some funny stuff that happens. People who steal in the military, I've seen hand grenades, plastic explosives, claymores. I've seen rockets being stolen, M16s, 50 cals fall off the back of trucks. Some people tried to steal Berettas. There was some Rangers robbed their own arms room, got caught down in town. It's
I can
crazy.
understand the Beretta. I mean, it is probably the finest gun ever made, the Beretta 92F. You guys call it the M9. It's the finest gun ever made. I can understand the temptation to steal one of those, bro.
You can go out and buy one, dude.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's because that's me. I'm logical, but I understand the theft because it's such a draw. Because it's such a great and outstanding firearm.
Well, everybody who carried a Beretta was either the ash and trash, units. They were everybody in the infantry units only carried M16s.
You're getting under my skin, man. Beretta 92FF is
No, I ain't talking about.
ever made.
I know the Beretta is great. I want one. I don't own one. I want one. I still need to find one. There's a lot of stuff I want, but I'm not gonna buy it right now.
Omar understands. The Beretta is the finest gun ever made.
Yeah, Printing Rockets will be selling less arm deals. Yeah. Oh yeah.
During the evacuation, I'm sure there was a lot of sales going on.
Yeah, you and that Beretta. See, is that the only? You only got one, or you got two? Oh, you got more than one.
You talking to me? Oh, my bad.
I'm talking to you. How many Berettas you got? You're looking at me all crazy.
I love Berettas. Only 92s though. Only 92s.
Oh, okay.
So the G and the FS are my favorite ones.
Oh, you have one or two? You still didn't answer the question.
G and the FS.
Oh, you got the G and the SF. Oh, okay.
The FS, right.
Oh, okay.
But I shoot the FS a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think it's older. That's the reason why.
What makes it so great?
It's mine.
The Beretta it's his. They made one of the best triggers that ever came out. Yeah. And a lot of people didn't realize it until it was too late. But the Beretta had one of the best triggers around.
Yep.
It was just as smooth and easy to pull and shoot.
And especially if you know how to work it. So I'll tell a real quick one. If you take the hammer spring out and cut the last two spring circles on the bottom, the gun's even smoother than it was when you first got it. And it won't have no impact on the function of the firearm. It'll just make that trigger just like feel like butter. It just And I've been to Beretta Armorer School, so there's just you look at the spring, and then most springs that, and I don't tell the technical terms anymore, but the last two wraps so that the spring stays together, you just clip that off, put that thing right back in, boop. You know, it's just one of the cheapest Beretta jobs you can get.
Yeah, if you find one, let me know. But it's got to be a good price. So they're hard to find right now. They're very difficult.
You got to find the used ones though.
Yeah.
92 FS.
You can get the police.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was gonna say.
We lost sound.
Did
we lose sound? I can't hear anything.
Hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear anything. I just lost all sound on my end, bro. Can you hear the show?
Yeah, you still.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and close out the show. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody. Can you hear me at all? Thumbs up. Okay, cool. So I want to thank everybody for coming on the show. Let me go ahead and put these last bit of things up here. Thank you guys for coming out, supporting the show. My headphones, they're working, but I can't hear the show. And nope. So I don't know what it is. We'll figure it out. We'll just close out the show. Yeah, he said everybody's saying they hear me. All right, cool. Thanks. So thank you guys for coming out and listening to us. Tell your friends, and we'll see you guys in the range. You got anything, Al? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Once you're talking now.
Invisible Hands and Reggie, all you guys again. Thank you. You have a blessed week. We'll see you next week. Thank this guy over here. As usual.
All right, he's throwing it back to me. I appreciate you, fellas. Have a blessed night. Everybody have a good night. Keep your head on the swivel and be safe. All right.
Adios.